Hello my little subjects, my name's King Wolfowl, and welcome to another prediction video for a WWE Premium Live event. Reginald's wearing the crown right here because it doesn't fit on my head anymore because it's broken. I ordered a new one and we'll wait to see when it comes in. Alright, getting right into the predictions. This PLE has some interesting matches. Only one of which is like completely predictable for me. So we'll see how well I do. Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. I think Lesnar hasn't been the unstoppable force that he once was in a while. So you could have, I think I'm gonna go with Bobby Lashley here, because if you have Bobby Lashley win, then you can have Brock kind of be like, I need to beat you now. I'm gonna go on to Mania and beat Lashley, and Lashley has the honor of being able to be like, I got in Brock's head, and not a lot of people can say that. And you also have Brock still looking strong. I mean, it's Brock Lesnar, and he always looks strong. But I think if he keeps losing these types of like he lost to Roman, he lost to Seth, he lost to Drew. If he loses to Bobby, then he's not the unstoppable monster that he once was. So I think it's important to have him beat Lashley at Mania. Unless you have him beat Lashley here, and then Lashley's the one who goes off the deep end, and you get heel Lashley versus face Lesnar at Mania. But then you have Lesnar losing at Mania again. So I think I'm going with Bobby Lashley tonight, and I think I'm going to go with Lesnar at Mania. But we're going Lashley for Chamber, and we'll see how things go. Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Natalya, Carmella in a #1 contenders match for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania inside the Elimination Chamber. This one's a little unpredictable because there's two people who could really win this and really benefit from winning this and going on to Mania to face Bianca. So Raquel Rodriguez, Nikki Cross, Natalya, Carmella. Sorry, I don't think any of them are winning. It would be fun to see Nikki Cross win and go on to headline the Raw Women's Division at Mania. It would be fun, but it's probably not going to happen. So we have Asuka and Liv Morgan. And I think Asuka, with her character change, it's important not to beat her so quickly. So she might be one of the first few people to go out, and it might be one of those spots where everyone hits their finish on someone and then they get pinned, and it's like, all right, thank God they're out. Honestly, I wouldn't even put her in the chamber because I don't think she's gonna win. I don't think she's gonna, because unless you want to turn her heel, I don't think she's gonna beat Bianca at Mania. So I probably would have put Piper Niven in here instead of Asuka and have Piper Niven run roughshod and then have someone pin her and be like, thank God we got rid of her, and make Piper Niven look strong. I think that's the role Asuka will play. I think Asuka will probably be one of the first two in, and then just kick the crap out of a bunch of people, and then eventually the numbers game will get to her. And I think I'm gonna go with Liv Morgan for this one for a couple of reasons. One, Liv Morgan's character is getting more and more unhinged, and I think having her going after another belt to replace the SmackDown title she lost, she could go full heel and go full crazy, like, I have to win this belt. So that would be one way to go. Alternatively, you could have Chelsea Green somehow insert herself into the match via going over Adam Pearce's head to the board of directors, being like, this guy isn't treating me like the star I am. How dare you, sir? So you could have Chelsea Green insert herself into the match, or alternatively come out after the match and announce that she has a #1 contenders match right now against the winner. Because for my money, a Karen Chelsea Green versus Bianca Belair, who has worked hard her entire life to get where she's at, sounds like the most fun, entertaining thing they could do right now with Bianca Belair. And Bianca's held that belt for, be at Mania, it'll be like a year that she's held the belt, which is awesome for Bianca. But there's so many long title reigns going on right now that I want to see some belts get dropped. And I know Roman's going to drop his belt soon. Braun Breaker will probably drop his belt soon. Gunther, I want to see him break Hockey Talk's record. I don't think he will. But you have a bunch of long title reigns going on right now, so you got to start planning who's taking these belts, and I think Chelsea Green would be a great choice to take the belt off of Bianca. So I'm going Liv Morgan for the chamber, but I would not be surprised if Chelsea Green somehow inserts herself into the situation. even if we get like a triple threat at Mania. You have Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Finn and Rhea Ripley. This is a little unpredictable because the Judgment Day Edge feud has been so 50-50 booked. It's like Edge does something good, and then Edge gets murdered. And then Edge comes back and does something good, and then Edge gets murdered. And then Rey Mysterio helps, and then Rey Mysterio ships himself off to SmackDown because he doesn't want to fight his kid. Originally, I was thinking maybe they were going to do Edge and Rey versus Finn and Dominic at Mania. But Rey's also kind of halfway in a feud with Karrion Kross as well. So they'll probably do Karrion Rey at Mania. So I don't know where they're gonna go. They'll probably just do Edge Finn at Mania. Hopefully they can do something cool with that, put it in a cage or something, so they can just kill each other. Let's put it inside Hell in a Cell at Mania. Why not? So yeah, Edge versus Finn is probably gonna at Mania. So the only person you can really pin here without too much damage being done is Beth Phoenix. So I'm thinking Rhea's gonna pin Beth, and I'm gonna take Finn and Rhea in this, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna take Finn and Rhea for the win. I think it's important to make sure Rhea doesn't get pinned before she fights Charlotte at Mania. It's important that neither Edge or Finn takes a pin, because this feud should end at Mania. It's been going long enough. So Beth is the odd one out, and she's gonna take the pin. So yeah, so next up, I'm reading this off a sheet. Also, I'm recording this on Wednesday, so if something gets added on SmackDown, I'll leave the prediction for that in the comments below. Or if like the Elimination Chamber gets changed and Chelsea Green gets inserted into it, so I'll be in the comments if something changes. United States Elimination Chamber match. This is the only one I'm confident in, and Austin Theory is winning. If Austin Theory doesn't win, I'm going to be upset, because this is the only match where I look at the card and I'm like, Austin Theory is absolutely winning this match. I can almost guarantee how the final three is going to go too. You're going to have, so you have Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Montez Ford. So eliminating the three that definitely aren't winning. Seth Rollins is going to be fighting Logan Paul at Mania, so there's no reason to have him win the US title, unless you're going to put the US title on Logan Paul and send the entirety of the WWE Universe to a frenzy, and not a good one. By the way, the Seth Rollins-Logan Paul match at Mania could end up being match of the night, and that's insane to me. Damian Priest. In the middle of all the Judgment Day Edge stuff. He's not going to win the US belt unless you're going to put the US belt on Edge. Or Rey Mysterio. That's not happening. Montez Ford. Probably going to have some fun highlights in this match. He's absolutely frog splashing someone off the chamber. He might even do the RVD taunt because it'd be funny. I think he's going to have a fun time, but he's going to probably be one of the first couple eliminated, sadly. But I think this, either he's going to be one of the first couple eliminated, or he's going to go insane and show everybody why people have decided he's going to be the breakout star of the Street Profits. Although, Angelo Dawkins has been doing phenomenal lately. Because I remember there was an interview a while back where people are like, he addressed the fact that people are like, Montez Ford's the breakout star of this team, and he was like, I'm going to prove you guys wrong. And he has. He's so much improved from where he once was. But anyway, enough about Street Profits. We have the last three in my brain: Gargano, Bronson Reed, Austin Theory. Gargano, valiant babyface elimination of Bronson Reed. Big dude's gonna destroy half the field. I wouldn't be surprised if Bronson pins Seth, Priest, and Ford. Gargano gonna get a valiant. Gargano might start the match. I think Gargano is probably gonna start the match, last to the final two. Valiant babyface come back, eliminate Bronson Reed, and immediately get rolled up by Austin Theory for the win. Austin Theory retained. I think Austin Theory should spend a lot of time getting like knocked down by Bronson Reed and just rolling to the outside of the ring and just not wrestling. Austin Theory should genuinely spend a lot of this match just not wrestling. And then he'll sneak in to beat Johnny Gargano, cocky heel, just being like, haha, I defended my belt, I'm the best. And I think at Mania, unless you have another plan for him, I would love to see Theory versus Cena at Mania. I would love to see, because Theory's been doing Cena taunts and Cena, like, saying Cena catchphrases in his promos and stuff. So I would love for him to issue an open challenge at Mania that gets answered by John Cena. Also, while I'm on the Theory John Cena thing, I think there's some legacy moves in the WWE. that need to be passed on to new people. And I would love for Austin Theory to start using the attitude adjustment and just let no one kick out of it for a while. I would love for Austin Theory to, at Mania, beat Cena with the attitude adjustment. I know that's crazy fantasy booking, but imagine the heat if Theory beats Cena with his own move and then starts using it to defend his belt. It would be insane. And I know that's a stupid theory. Haha, get it, Austin Theory. But you can't tell me it's a bad idea, because it's a great idea. Anyway, on to Roman versus Sami for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, the Uwu belt itself, or belts. So I've thought long and hard about this. My fantasy booking brain. I do a little bit of fantasy booking in these a lot of times. I think too many people are, because people are behind Sami betraying the bloodline, too many people are seeing the wrong things here. I think a lot of people want Sami to win the belt because Sami's a very good professional wrestler that deserves to be a world champion. This I agree with. What I don't agree with is the thought that Sami's arc has to lead to taking the world title off of Roman. I think in contrast between Sami and Cody's stories, right? Cody's story is entirely about winning that belt in honor of his family name. Sami's story is entirely about getting back at the bloodline for all the horrible things they've done. Originally, Sami got into the bloodline for his own protection and to be part of a group that was at the top of the card and just kicking butt, right? And now he had his own protection and he finally turned on them after Roman went too far, hurting someone he cared about. So the catalyst for all, like the beginning of all this, you have Roman forcing the Usos basically to join the bloodline. You have Jey Uso getting the crap kicked out of him multiple times by Roman until they finally join the bloodline. Sami tries to join, and Jey Uso absolutely has none of it. And then Sami finally wins Jey over, and then he turns on Roman, and you see a little like twinkle in Jey's eye, and Sami has referenced it too, that Jey knows that Roman's a bad guy. Jey knows that he's doing the wrong thing by supporting Roman. Jey knows that the right thing, like turning on Roman, was the right thing to do, and that Jey should have been the one to do it in the first place. That's how. I highly recommend, if you haven't seen it. I'll try and link it in the description if I remember. Cultaholic did a video where they broke down the fact that Jey Uso is actually the main character of this whole bloodline situation, and it makes so much sense. Go watch the video. I'll make sure I link it in the description. But anyway, you have to make the Jey Uso Sami story make sense as an ending, right? Because Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn, way more important than Roman versus Sami Zayn, at least to me. From my viewing of the storyline and watching it unfold, Jey Uso versus Sami is a much bigger match to me than Roman versus Sami. I think for fantasy booking brain, well, first off, prediction wise, Roman Reigns is winning. Sadly, it pains me to say it, but Roman Reigns is defending the belt. Fantasy booking wise, how the match is gonna go, right? You have Sami taking it to Roman. Eventually, as things are breaking down, you have Solo and Paul Heyman interfering to keep the belts on Roman. Kevin Owens comes out and takes out Solo and Paul. This hinges on if they can get into Canada for the day. I read reports that they were cleared for a one-day pass into Canada, like Jay was back in like September. It was either September of this year or September of last year. Wait, September hasn't happened this year yet. September of last year, sorry. Jey Uso was allowed in the country for like 24 hours to be on the show. So if they can get that pass for the Usos, Jimmy Uso comes out to take out Kevin. Jey Uso comes out, you don't know where he stands, right? We don't know whether he's going to turn on Sami, whether he's going to turn on the bloodline, and eventually super kicks Sami Zayn, looks Roman in the eyes, and realigns himself with the bloodline. He knows where he stands. You could have any sort of segment after this to have Jay and Sammy have a like a backstage talk or in the ring talk, where Sammy talks about being afraid, or Jay talks about being afraid of Roman or afraid of what will happen if he leaves the bloodline. Like, Sammy, you know what happens if you betray the bloodline, and I can't let that happen to me, blah blah blah. You could have Jey Uso be this character that's knows what he's doing is wrong, but is too afraid of Roman to do what's right. So you have Jey Uso costing Sammy the Universal Championship, which gives good reason for Sammy to take something from Jey, namely the tag titles. So if you have Sammy go, you know what? Me and KO are going to take those tag belts from you because you ruined my chance, right? You were like a brother to me, and we have to do this now. So you can have Sammy versus KO versus the Usos. Main event night 1. I would have it main event night 1. You could have the tag belts. Think about this. Everyone's always complaining that the tag belts feel like they don't mean anything. The tag belts main eventing a WrestleMania show would make sense with how over Sammy is. Would make sense with this storyline, because you need to culminate Sammy and Jey Uso at some point, and having the tag belts main event WrestleMania night 1 will make the tag belts feel important. Will make Sammy and KO and the Usos all feel important. It would be insane, right? So I think the best thing to do here is to have Jey Uso, if he can be there, turn on Sammy so that Sammy and KO make sense to go after the tag belts instead of the world title. And then you can have Cody, Roman night 2, with Sammy and KO obviously there to keep the bloodline from interfering, and Cody can take the belt off of Roman. And then, on the Raw afterwards, you can have Sammy and KO come out with a new tag belt, which I think there was a story a while back that they have a new belt made, that's just a single belt, and they just haven't, they're waiting to introduce it. And then you could have the world title, you could have him come out with just the WWE title, or you could have him come out with a certain other belt that he's been teasing for a while. So yeah, you have Cody win on night 2. You have the Sammy and KO win on night 1. You have new champions going into the rest of the year. You can have Roman take a short break, and when he comes back, he can just feud with the Usos. He could just feud with the Bloodline. You could have Roman and Solo versus the Usos, and you can have the Usos finally split off from the Bloodline. And then eventually Roman could take a break and Solo can go do Solo stuff. Because I would love to see Solo as an upper mid-carder. Like, coming out of Mania, Roman will take a break. Cody will be a world champion. Kevin and Sammy will be the tag champs. You can have Usos turn face. You can have Solo stay heel and start wrecking people for mid-card belts. I would have him maybe be the one to beat Gunther. Actually, no, because in my head, Gunther's losing the belt at Mania. We'll get to that. We'll see. I'm not going to fantasy book that because he has nothing to do with Elimination Chamber. But I think the important stories to tell right now are Roman versus Cody, because Cody needs to be a world champion for his family, and Sammy versus Jey Uso. And you don't get to Sammy versus Jey Uso by putting the world title on Sami Zayn, sadly. And I genuinely think the tag story, like, people are like, I don't want Sammy's whole story to culminate in a tag title run. It doesn't feel fair. And it's like, you want the tag belts to feel important, but you don't want Sammy to go after them because he's the top guy in the company? Okay. To me, it's all about which stories feel like they need to be finished, right? Finish the story has been the theme going into these feuds. Cody said it to Sammy on Raw. I'm gonna finish my story, you need to finish yours. And Sammy's story, I don't believe finishes with winning the world title. I think it finishes with him and Jay kicking the crap out of each other at Mania. And then after the match, absolutely have Sammy and Jay embrace in the ring and have Kevin and Jimmy just on the outside like, well, this is happening. Just big old hug in the middle of the ring after Sammy and KO win the belts. And then you can have night 2, where You could honestly, night 2, after they've lost the belts, the Usos could turn on Roman so that Roman drops the belt to Cody. You could have that too. Yeah, it's a lot of fantasy booking on my end. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, how you think these stories are going to go, what you think about my opinions. This is a dumb thing to ask because people are really opinionated about Sammy winning the world title right now. Let me know your opinions on my fantasy booking for Sammy being the one to, like, let me know your thoughts on the idea that Sammy versus Jay is more important than Sammy versus Roman. We'll put it that way. With that being said, we're going to run through my predictions really quick. So I'm Bobby Lashley over Brock Lesnar, Finn and Rhea over Edge and Beth Phoenix, Liv Morgan winning the number 1 contenders match with potential for Chelsea Green to interfere or intercede in some way, Austin Theory defending his belt, Roman Reigns. That's a lot. Actually, I just realized I have almost all heels winning. So I'm probably going to get a bunch of things wrong, but it's okay. That's my predictions. We're also going into Mania, so having a bunch of heels winning right before Mania so you can have a bunch of faces win at Mania is a good idea. Like the one year where we're like it was Kofi Mania, because we're like, there's no way Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and Kofi all win belts tonight, and then they did, and everyone's like, yeah, we can just be happy for once. This is crazy. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions about Elimination Chamber down below. Sunday, I'm recording this on Wednesday. I almost said tomorrow out of instinct, but I'm recording this on Wednesday. Sunday, which is tomorrow for you guys, so I could have said tomorrow. My brain's fried. I just woke up a little bit ago. So you'll get my thoughts and opinions on the show, on what we witness. So hopefully it's good. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Be good, people. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.